Thank you very much. I hope that everybody has interpretation. We're going to speak in Spanish, English, and French in this session, so welcome to this SDG Solutions in Barcelona. Thank you to the Province of Barcelona for hosting us, and I have the pleasure to introduce to Mrs. Maria Eugenia Guy. She's Vice President of the Province of Barcelona, and also she's the Deputy Delegate for International Relations and Agenda 2030. Please, Maria Eugenia.
Thank you, Sarah. Honorable mayors, distinguished partners, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is a great honor to welcome each of you to Barcelona, and in particular to the Paranymph of the Escola Industrial, in this architectural, modernist and industrial heritage seat of great interests and beauty. First, I would like to recognize the fantastic partnership with the United Nations Development Programme and the United Nations SDG Action Campaign that have brought to Barcelona this powerful platform. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for connecting actors and networks of actors to drive transformation and innovation across our cities and communities. This event happens in the context of the Pact of the Future, just approved by consensus a couple of months ago during the Summit of the Future in New York. The Pact of the Future recognizes the importance of the new urban agenda, housing and cities, the need to transform global governance and reinvigorate the multilateral system so that it better tackles the challenge and seizes the opportunities of today and tomorrow, as well as remember us the relevance of local and regional governments in the localization of the 2030 Agenda. With just 6 years remaining to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, global progress is alarmingly insufficient, with only 70% of the targets are currently on track. There is still a lot to be done to achieve the SDGs, and cities and local governments are part of the answer. We are part of the answer. We are policymakers, catalysts of change, and the level government best placed to link the global goals with local communities. The World Urban Forum, being held this week in Cairo, has taken on the phrase, "It all starts at home." It all starts at home, to center discussion around issues of housing, belonging, and community, and to ensure towards the importance of localization and the idea that SDG requires enabling at different scales, which necessarily involves city and homes. As Eleanor Roosevelt expressed in 1958, on the 10th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, where, after all, do universal human rights begin? In small places, close to home, so close and so small that they cannot be seen on any maps of the world. Yet they are the world of the individual person, the neighborhood he lives in, the school or college he attends, the factory, farm, or office where he works. Such are the places where every man, woman, and child seeks equal justice, equal opportunity, equal dignity, without discrimination. Unless these rights have meaning there, they have little meaning anywhere. Without concerned citizen action to uphold them close to home, we shall look in vain for progress in the larger world. So over 65 years later, local governments are still here. We are still here. We are the answer, the solution. We are co-creators of solutions to global challenges and vital partners in working towards a better future of present and future generation. But what do we think and when we think of the future? We are experiencing an especially turbulent international context. The series of global-scale crises in recent decades has been compounded by a growing rivalry among major powers and an increase in international conflicts, to the point where we now face the highest number of active conflicts since the Second World War. From Gaza to Ukraine, and from Yemen to Sudan and Ethiopia, the current landscape also exposes the limitations of existing multilateral global governance institutions. This international context has a clear impact on the role of local governments, both at local and international level, and it is urgent to make a call for the respect of human rights and the respect of the international humanitarian law. Therefore, now more than ever, we cannot turn a blind eye to what is happening in the world. It is a time of uncertainty, but it should not paralyze us. Uncertainty can also be seen as an invitation, an opening to the known that encourages us to stay connected with the world, to create, to invent, to transform, and innovate. It invites us to focus on improving the quality of life for our communities, and this is why it is also important to remain active within international networks and to establish alliances that promote the values of solidarity, peace, and the promotion of human rights upheld by our administration. In conclusion, this is the reason that has brought us together for this event, Barcelona SDG Local Solutions. Local governments bear a significant responsibility in addressing humanity's great challenges. We are engines of change where over half of the world's population resides, implementing policies that impact people's lives most directly and serving as the administration closest to the public. The 2030 Agenda has been a powerful catalyst for many councils, once again highlighting the essential role of local governments in tackling global issues. In fact, around 65% of the Sustainable Development Goals depend on local administrations. In this context, the Barcelona Provincial Council, in collaboration with the 311 municipalities of our province, is playing a crucial role in advancing the SDG goals within our territory. We are one of the first local governments to integrate the SDGs into its strategic planning, localizing these objectives and targets to the realities of our provincial municipalities, as well to our government. Aligned with this commitment, our 2023-2027 Action Plan supports a network of local governments actively contributing to sustainability, territorial equity, and social cohesion through public sector innovation. This plan strengthens the objective of our 2030 Agenda Strategic Plan, approved in 2021. As part of our community to promoting innovation in local public policies, I am pleased to share with you that we are investing in the development of the International Center for Innovation in Public Services that will be located here within the historic grounds of the Escola Industrial, and it will host a cluster of leading research institutions in health, biomedicine, and technology to collaborate with local governments in enhancing public policies in areas like health, energy transition, digitalization, and demographic change, among other areas of public policy. And this center will include residential facilities for researchers and students with a space for approximately 800 researchers. This event, with any doubt, is going to inspire us to continue innovating in the delivery of high-quality, accessible, and transparent public services. Services designed to meet global challenges and to build spaces where human development, sustainability, and equity advance together. I wish to all of you lively debate, co-create, and exchange during these 2 days that I'm really sure will be amazing. Thank you, Sarah, for everything.
Thank you, Maria Eugenia, for your kind words and for hosting us here. It's an amazing space. I'm Diana Lopez. I'm the advisor on cities and local governments for UNDP at the Executive Office in New York. But I work in the province of Barcelona for 3 very happy years of my life. So for me, it's like coming back home. It's family. You hosted me for 3 years when I was with you in Habitat, and it's really nice to be back home. Thank you. Province of Barcelona, so for you, this is the province, so it's not the city, it's the provincial government. They are serving 311 municipalities, and it's amazing the work they do in supporting small municipalities. It's a sharing institution that they support the smaller, they bring the experience from the biggest, and they give services to those who really couldn't do it alone. So it's a model that we always say that it's very interesting for the rest of the world. So I wanted to start off why we are here. I know you all travel, it's very uncomfortable, you left your families behind, so thank you for being with us. I think we are here because it's very important that local governments are leading this Agenda 2030. I don't know if you can realize how important is the Agenda 2030 and the United Nations. It's the first time that we have like a global agenda that includes everybody, the North, the South, but also includes all aspects of development. So if you can see, the SDGs, I always go back to the Sustainable Development Goals, so you have no poverty, no hunger, but also health, education, sustainable cities, partnerships, the climate agenda, and it brings everything together. So when we started working with the localizing of SDGs, it was 2013, when we started with UCLG and the Global Task Force. The municipalities said, but then the global agenda is decided by member states, but governments, and then at the end of the day, they are talking about things that we do every day. So how we're going to approach this, and of course, we started saying, I remember always Pep Roach saying, it's not what the SDGs it's not what you can do for the SDGs, it's what the SDGs can do for you. And this is what with colleagues that are here from different institutions, partners, and also friends, the municipalities have seen this agenda and they have said, but this is my agenda and I can use it like an integrated agenda to do strategic planning. So in Europe, in America, and then Global North, we're very used to strategic plans, but for the South, sometimes for the municipality, they see this and then they see the targets and the indicators, and then of course they take a political decision about what is their priorities, because they're not going to do everything. They are not going to take the responsibility from the UN and from the member states and then say, now I have to do the global agenda, and then it's like, you are the Atlantis and you're holding the world. But then it's when it goes to indicators, and then you think, I always think, I'm talking about SDG 5, gender equality. What is gender equality? Then if you go to the SDG 5 and you go, the target is women who can open a bank account by themselves without the husband's signature. Number of buses per population, number of trees, number of square meters of public space. These are things that people understand. I always say that even a kid can understand the SDGs, and the municipalities have used that for two main things. One is planning, so integrated and said, I have indicators, let me choose the indicators that are used for me. And the second is communication. And communication is our big challenge, because the global world, the central government, the local governments, we need to communicate better with the public. What we are seeing globally is that people are losing trust in institutions, they don't trust the public sector anymore, and the municipalities is where the trust, when you see the indicators, people trust much more their mayors, their local governments, than the central or the global level. They also trust Amazon more, that's true. So we have to do something, because it's not possible that you just trust that you're going to get your goods delivered. Your service have to be delivered. So we believe in the UN that the SDGs are helping municipalities to deliver better, to plan better, and also to communicate better what they are doing. So this is why we're here. We call it SDG Solutions, because we want to share specific things that cities that our partners are doing, share with each other and keep this agenda alive and practical. So this is why you travel all this way, if you were wondering what I'm doing here. Who you are, so you are a group of friends, partners. We have a lot of people from local government associations. We believe strongly in the role of local government associations to do a bit what the province do. Take smaller municipalities that they can do it by themselves and bring them along, leaving no one behind. So this is exceptional what the local government associations do, and still we're doing too few, too little, to support national associations of local governments. And we have some representatives of national governments as well that are always, it's wonderful to see national governments and interest from governments on the agenda, on the role of local governments leading the Agenda 2030. And then we have a group of friends that we know that really want to bring together, because we need people to drive this agenda together, because it's the only way to do it. There is no other thing. What are we going to do these days? So we have an agenda which is very participatory. We have chosen to have only 3 speakers per panel, so the idea is that you need to speak. So prepare your questions, prepare your interventions, share with us anything that you want to share in terms of practical solutions that can be useful for others, to learn from others. The agenda is structured around 4 main themes, and we have 2 special sessions. These 4 themes are something that we have seen thanks to the work that we are doing with the Global Mayors Challenge at UNDP. We've been supporting 8 cities, and I have my 8 program coordinators here. I work with them remotely, so it's very nice to have them in a place physically. These 8 cities have been innovating in practical solutions that are helping people, and we're starting to see very nice results. We'll have a session, and they will be able to tell you how they have been innovating in public service delivery. And through this learning, we have identified 4 main things, which are the themes of the agenda. How procurement, buying goods, because at the end, to deliver service, you need to count with the private sector. You need to contract. This is what municipalities do. So we have learned so much about how you can learn from procurement into better delivery of public services to reach those who need the most. So that is going to be our first theme. Then we have creating livelihoods in cities, so how cities with very small efforts, with very targeting local populations can really take people out of poverty and giving them not only jobs, but good jobs, that they can pay their bills, and also opportunities and hope to improve their lives. The third one is innovating, visualizing innovation, we call it. So we are innovating, but how do we explain to the people what we are doing in terms of public? When I say we, it's public at all levels, global, national, local. That group is very experimental, but I think it's going to be fun as well. It has to do a lot with not only data, but how cities are using data to take better decisions and also to communicate and show the population what they are doing in terms of innovation. Of course, we're talking also about financing innovation, because at the end of the day, this is the basis of everything. These 4 themes are very concrete, and I hope that they're going to be of your interest. And then we have 2 special sessions. One is the first, that is going to be moderated by our colleague Lucy Slack from the Commonwealth Local Government Forum, and it's about this broader theme of innovation that brings us here. We are doing this the same week of the Smart Cities Congress. Some of you were coming and going, and of course, it's very spectacular. It's amazing what has happened here in the last 10 years. But of course, at the level of local governments and at the level of the countries that many of you come, we have colleagues from Swaziland. Are you here in the room? The colleague from, fantastic, thank you. Thank you for coming. So in some context, it's very difficult to take these big data, big companies, big flashy things, and then make it a reality. So we are going to try to explore, what does it mean, this innovating in public policy at local level. And then we have the session on the Global Mayors Challenge to learn from this amazing experience that we've been supporting for the last 3 years. So that's it on my side. The last thing I wanted to say a bit about communications. So we have here the Gaudí. We work a lot on this thing. So this is inspired by the Park Well. So we have taken one of the balconies of the Park Well, and we have applied the colors of the SDG to the Park Well. Many of you were with us already yesterday, and the Palau Well, so well families all around this event. Tonight we have another dinner at the Palau Well, so there is a little bit this creativity of the architect Gaudí, so we have just loaned him. Probably we are infringing some kind of copyright thing, but we like to apply the SDG colors to everywhere. Outside you have a photo call. We are going to ask you for small videos, pictures. We have done these SDG balloons that we use a bit to put a little of joy and play in the SDGs, and to do a bit of propaganda, because it's a bit of propaganda in the old sense of the word. But we need to communicate this agenda, and we need to communicate how local governments are really leading the way on serving people and on providing solutions for the people. So with that, thank you very much to everybody. Please prepare yourselves to be active. It's going to be a very participatory event. So with that, I'm going to leave the floor to Lucy Slack. She's the Secretary General of the Commonwealth Local Government Forum, long-standing partner. We're going to speak all from the floor, so it's easier for everyone to intervene. So just raise your hand, and I will be giving you the floor. Lucy, all over to you. Thank you very much.